So in 2015, Wayne McCrory and I started this project on behalf of the Valhalla Wilderness Society. Our first year was a pilot year. We wanted to see what was going on with the adult toads and toadlets up here at Fish and Bear Lakes between Caslow and New Denver on Highway 31A. And since then, we've now had 6 years of field seasons and exploring this area and moving lots of toads, and have discovered that there are certain hotspot areas along this highway, 3 in particular, that are important for toads to be moving back and forth between their mountain habitat and their breeding habitat here in the lake. And Fish Lake is the nursery for this system. This is where we found the eggs, and this is where the tadpoles mature and become toadlets. So this lake is incredibly important for this larger ecosystem and for this big population of toads that's supported here. So out doing night surveys like this, we usually start in early May and come out and see who's out and breeding and move toads off the highway. The adult toads are moving from the mountains down to Fish Lake to breed, and we intercept them, sex them, get their locations, and move them in the direction that they want to go, just to get them safely off the highway. We've got these 3 different passes across this highway, which is why we have this project to help make sure that the toads are moving safely and getting across between the upland areas of London Ridge and the surrounding areas of Fish Lake, and to their breeding areas in the lake. The reason that toads are important is that in this landscape, they are the main connectors between different habitat types, like their breeding areas at Fish Lake, the wetlands surrounding the lakes and the upland, and also because they're integral to the food web here. Whether they're in the lake as eggs and tadpoles and toadlets, or making their way up into the subalpine, all along the way they're part of the food chain of this ecosystem. Yeah, it's really disheartening to come out here and see some big black smears, knowing that some female toads have been taken out the night before. So this is a female that's carrying eggs, and you can see the black smear of the eggs. Females typically carry 12,000 eggs or more, and in our study area, we have somewhere around 48% of the females that we find dead on the highway were egg bearing or gravid. Oh, so that chirping is an indicator that it's a male, and also we can see nuptial pads there where it holds onto the female during breeding. So I'm just going to move this guy. So the toad that I just moved is in a hot spot at the west end of Fish Lake, and it's one of the areas where we actually find the most crossing of toads going to the lake and going back to the forested mountainside, and it's also where we find the most mortality. And this data has been provided to the Ministry of Transportation, and we're working with the Environmental Services Department and their design team to look at crossing structure designs and what would be feasible for having underpasses for western toads here at the west end of Fish Lake. Great things about this project is how many citizens from the Caslow area and the Slocan that we've attracted as toad ambassadors. It's been really fun to see how people in the community are engaged, interacting with the tourists, telling the story of the toads, what's going on with the toadlet migrations, and be able to talk a bit about toad biology and ecology to people that are coming through our region.